So Neustar, for a while now, has been known for our attribution modeling, and looking at the cross-channel media mix of our clients, a huge portion of that is missing is TV media. So TV media is upwards of around 30 to 40% of the overall media mix, where digital is taking a lion's share of that, just passed in 2017. So looking at our advertising base, there's an opportunity to include television data, television viewership information in the overall media mix, and actually utilizing TV against things like search, display, mobile data to essentially provide a more holistic view of how marketing is performing across the customer journey. So Neustar, over the past couple of years, has made inroads with various partners within the ecosystem, people like TiVo, Comcast, NCC Media, and the like, to essentially incorporate that viewership data, not only as standalone within the actual platform, but looking at it against the overall media mix for both marketing mix modeling, as well as multi-touch attribution to really optimize how and when and why they're spending their media across their buys.
And what are the data sets that are incorporated into the Neustar offering?
The data sets from the TV themselves, yeah. So viewership data. We also work with Kantar to understand what brand buys are happening when, and we essentially culminate that media and we mix that media and that data stream together to understand when people are viewing, how they're viewing at the household level, and then utilizing that data to understand, specifically when a specific time period is best to be served a specific type of ad, what demographics are skewing high or low for certain types of targeted media, but also along the customer journey at a household level, when are people more or have a higher propensity to purchase based on the media that they've consumed, what's driving them in store, what's driving them to purchase online, from the entire view of the media landscape, inclusive of TV, both linear as well as digital TV.
So what is the sort of definition of identity at Neustar? We hear that term used a lot in different ways. What does it mean to Neustar?
Yeah, so identity is really the view of the consumer and how they are essentially interacting with brands along their customer journey. So it's not just about their name, their address, their phone number, their email, or even their cookie or their mobile ad ID, right? It's the combination of elements that tell a story over time that helps the brand pinpoint and understand what that consumer's interests and needs are, as well as use that to predict, what they're looking for in the future. So it's not necessarily just about how I know this person, where they live, what their address or age is. It's a culmination of the data points that help us understand who the consumer is along their actual customer journey.
So you guys are starting to work with some of the big walled gardens, some of the platforms.
Yeah.
Explain sort of the value of that, why you're doing it, and sort of the value to your customers.
Sure.
And how deep you can go.
Yeah, so transparency has been a huge factor for advertisers over the past 5 or so years. As we see advertisers taking a lot more responsibility for their own media, for their own KPIs, for their own success, moving a lot of things in-house, we're also seeing them push to people like us a level of responsibility around transparency. So Neustar prides itself on helping the customer, specifically the brands, understand the customer journey, end to end, and then continuously over time. So for us, the combination of identity assets, the ability to activate and build targeting plans across omnichannel, both online and offline, and then actually measure the success of those campaigns over time is extremely valuable. A huge portion of the media that was missing, though, was these walled garden areas. A very high percentage of media, specifically on digital, is being spent across Google, Facebook, Pinterest, Amazon, and they had to rely specifically on these vendors or these publishers to provide that data back to them. But as we talked about earlier with TV, they want to see the media mix as a whole. So they want to see Facebook data, they want to see Google data, they want to see Amazon data, and the campaigns and how they're performing against the rest of that media mix. Because you and I both know we're not just spending our time only on Facebook in the app, we're also walking around, shopping in stores, visiting other websites, viewing different types of television channels, both in the linear form as well as the digital form. So in order to understand how they can better efficiently spend their media, how they can better efficiently engage with customers, they need to include all views of that customer, all different touch points, into one centralized single source. So for us, working with the likes of Facebook and Amazon and Pinterest, it allows us to help the ecosystem better create transparency for advertisers, and hopefully at the end of the day, helps us better understand the identity path or the customer journey across every single touch point that's relevant to a marketer at any point in time.
So Devon, so let me ask you, what's the timeline on this, working on behalf of your clients with the walled gardens?
It's available now. So the multi-touch attribution modeling that we're doing today, as well as our unified model, which actually joins multi-touch attribution with marketing mix modeling. It's available now, and the inclusion of TV in that model, the inclusion of some of the walled garden data is available now for our brands to utilize. And we're doing a lot of great work with existing large Fortune 200, 250 brands today to help them understand the end-to-end view of their customers across every single touch point, inclusive of the large media buys of, let's say, Facebook and Pinterest and Amazon, as well as television, both, like I said, linear as well as digital.